Yeah, I was watching a movie the other day, and it was about a guy that was out on the water in a boat, and all of a sudden he heard somebody in distress that was in the water. What do you do when that happens? Well, here, this is what you do. You throw them a lifeline. Did you catch the lifeline? That's what our readings are about. There's 3 lifelines in our readings that the Lord wants us to catch. The first one that we're going to talk about is from Genesis 50, and it's the lifeline about trusting God no matter what happens in your life. You'll see in there Joseph, he's confronting his brothers, and his brothers didn't know that it was Joseph until it was revealed to them, and then they were afraid what was going to happen. But Joseph says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." You have to trust God with what happens in your life. That's our first lifeline. And our second lifeline is sacrificial serving instead of judging, like here at our food bank where they serve. Folks, in the reading from Romans 14, it says, "Who are you to judge someone else's servant?" It's convenient to always judge somebody and pick them apart, but when you talk about sacrificial serving, it may not always be convenient, but because our Lord has served us, we want to do all that we can out of joy to serve other people. So our second lifeline, sacrificial serving instead of judging. And our third lifeline is to be generous with forgiveness. It comes from our Matthew reading, where you'll see a story there that illustrates that, and how because our God was generous with forgiveness towards us through Jesus, that's our motivation to do all that we can to be generous with forgiveness towards others. So folks, that brings us to an interesting point. We've got 3 lifelines. First, trust God no matter what happens in your life. And second, sacrificial serving instead of judging. And third, be generous with your forgiveness. Hold on to those lifelines, but also be sure you extend them to others.